How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Anything new? Anything happened this week you want to talk to me about?
I've been very stressed. I've had a lot of homework and been working a lot at my job and class, and I feel like I've just been all over the place.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to talk to me about your job?
Yeah, so I work pretty much anytime that I'm not at school or my internship, which is a lot. So I feel like I haven't had enough time to like focus on school and like really like put enough effort into it. And so I feel like everything that like I hand in or like that I do isn't good enough.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll touch back with that. What school do you go to currently?
Georgian Court.
Okay. And what year are you?
I'm in my second year of grad school.
Oh wow, that's something to be very proud of.
Thank you.
You definitely didn't get there with poor work ethic. So, you said you work.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you work?
I work at a retail store.
Okay. And what are your hours like there?
They're always different. So some days I'll be closing, which I'm there until like 11 at night.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I'll be there like during the day. Sometimes I'll be there early, like at 8 o'clock. So it really depends. It's never like a set schedule. It's just whatever hours they give me.
Okay. And did you ever think about making it a little bit of a set schedule?
I thought about it, but I feel like then I get less hours,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's less money.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with the internship and your school hours, I almost how does that fluctuate with your schedule being so open? Because I can see where that would be stressful.
Mm-hmm. Well, those school and my internship are like set hours. They're always the same.
Okay.
So I kind of just blocked out those times from my work schedule, so I can be scheduled pretty much any other time except for that. And I feel like I need like a day off during the week, but
absolutely,
I don't have time for one. So.
Okay. So any open gaps in your schedule is filled in with work, and
usually.
And then when you're not at work, if there's any other open gaps, it's for you and for homework.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever actually written that down to see how much time is for you and for your homework?
No, I've never done that. I probably could, and I could probably plan it out better. That's another problem is I don't plan it out. I just kind of go where I need to go when I need to be there, and then my free time I kind of have nothing planned and I just do what I want, but usually that doesn't end up being what I need to do.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a little avoidance, but we all have a little bit of that, right? So when you actually do get to work on your homework and do get to do things where you feel productive, what are your thoughts when that's occurring?
When I actually get to do things and I get things done, I feel good that they're done, but I get stressed because I feel like I didn't put enough effort in. So.
Okay. And what evidence do you have to prove that you haven't done enough or did enough?
I just feel like I don't give it all my time.
Okay.
Like I feel like it's not enough time that I'm dedicating to that, which, I mean, it probably is enough time. I just feel like maybe I'm not being as productive as I need to be in that time.
Okay.
And then I'm thinking, oh, well, I have time on this day, so I can work on it more then. But then something else ends up coming up, and then I have too much to do, and then everything I do isn't the best because I'm working on a million things.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is that you do it, but then you always want to go back to it to perfect it. And then when you never get a chance to go back to it to perfect it, you have this icky feeling inside of you that you could have done more. My next question is, when you get your grades back, are they good grades?
Usually, yeah.
So I feel like that's evidence against your negative thoughts, right?
Yeah. Well, whenever I get them back, they're like usually good grades. Like I don't think I've gotten below a B on anything. It's just that I always feel like it could have been better.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But given the fact that you want to work so much, right? And I was going to ask you, why do you feel the need to work so much?
Just for money. I don't make a ton of money at my job. I make like $10 an hour, so that's really not that much. But it's like enough money for me to like barely get by and like pay for things. So that's why. Because if I cut down my hours, then I like really have like no money. Like I'm getting $150 every 2 weeks, and that's not really enough.
Yeah. How long have you been working at that place for?
3 years. 3.5 years, really.
Okay. And you know, you say the pay isn't the greatest, but you feel stuck. You want to pay for things. You said, what's your living situation like?
I live with my parents still, but I just feel like there's some things that I should be paying for at my age, and I can't.
Okay. Are they a good support system for you?
Yeah, they don't really force me to pay for like a ton of things. It's just I feel stressed because I just feel like I'm kind of like mooching off them a little bit.
Okay. But you are their child, right? It's another negative automatic thought that I've noticed. I do want you to recognize that you're putting yourself down a little bit. Do you notice that you do that?
Not until now I did it.
Okay. All right, so what we can do to help work on that so that you can feel a little bit better about yourself, not be so hard on yourself. And I personally think that when you aren't so hard on yourself, it makes doing what you have to do in your schedule a little bit less stressful. You're not so negative about how you're doing something, and if you're going to do it good enough, all of the automatic thoughts that you have been expressing, then you'll feel better about yourself, So let's talk about some automatic thoughts that you mentioned. When you do something and you feel that it's not good enough. Another one where you said you feel like a moocher when you are how old did you say you were, 23?
Almost 23, yeah.
And you are a grad student. You work, and you also are in an internship. You have a lot. In one of our past sessions, I also remember you saying that you were in a sorority. So to me, I think that you're doing a wonderful job, and I really want to help you work on giving yourself a little bit more credit. How do you feel about that?
I think that would definitely help because I feel like I waste a lot of time being stressed over things that I don't need to be stressed about, and then I get more stressed because I'm wasting time being stressed. So it's all a vicious cycle.
Yes. And then when you're ready to go to sleep, you said that you can't sleep.
Yeah, because all I think about is that.
Yeah, so hopefully when we are going to be working on this technique, recognizing your automatic thoughts, discussing the evidence behind why it is not correct and why you think it is correct, and having we're going to be talking about the emotions that you feel, and the percentages of those emotions. I would like you to rate them, and then we're going to just talk about why those emotions and the evidence against what you're feeling kind of gives you a little bit of proof why it's not true,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's get together here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start. I'm going to have you write down your first feeling, first example of one of your automatic thoughts. Or just actually describe the situation for me.
Okay, so it would be probably when I do a paper or project or something and I just feel like I didn't do well enough on it and I just kind of submit it because I have to.
Okay.
But then I get the grade back and it's usually an okay grade.
Okay, so the event that we're discussing is you are writing a paper and you have to submit it because it's due. You have a negative feeling about the paper that you have written. What are the thoughts that are going through your mind?
I just feel like every time I submit an assignment, I feel like I don't feel good about it and confident in what I did. I feel like I kind of just make stuff up whenever I'm doing homework and just submit it.
Okay. You make stuff up. So what kind of feelings are you going through as soon as you send it?
I usually feel anxious and then I'm predicting that I'm probably not going to get a good grade on it, but at least I got it done.
Okay. What is the percentage of the anxiety that's going through your head?
Probably 90%.
Okay. Is there any other feeling that you're going through? Because you mentioned that you're worried, right? That you're not going to get a good grade. So what is the worry percentage like?
Probably 90% too.
Okay. And then you said when you do get the grade back, right?
Yeah, it's usually good.
Okay. So, does that make you feel better?
Yeah, that's usually a relief. And usually I don't understand how I got that good of a grade, but I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
And right there, you just did another negative thought. You don't know how you did a good. You don't know how you got a good grade on it. But did you put time and effort into it?
I did.
Okay. And did you review it before you submitted it?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay. Did you study? Okay. Are you actively participating in your class?
Yeah.
Okay. So why do you feel that you are not going to get a good grade then?
I feel like it's just a thought about myself that I think I'm not smart enough or that I'm not doing well enough in comparison to everybody else.
Okay. I really want you to work on this when you leave the office because you just said another thought of you not being smart enough. But the evidence that, from what I know, is that you are a to B student, from what you mentioned. You graduated your bachelor's degree. You got into a graduate program. This is all evidence against your negative thoughts, right? And you need to, really, really think about writing these things down of why you not being smart enough wouldn't be true, okay? So you said that you're worried about not being smart enough. Now, can you give me some examples why you are smart enough?
Well, I mean, I've never gotten a bad grade. No one's ever been like, hey, you are completely off here. So I know I'm on track. I don't know. I think it's just a personal feeling within myself that I'm I'm not doing well enough. But
yeah. Are you able to recognize when it is the thought of those negative thoughts pop into your head during those events? Are you able to see those events kind of trigger those negative thoughts?
Sometimes I feel like I just like don't see it, and I think, oh, like I'm just not doing well enough, and I just think it's like a me problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, throughout this session, and when you go home, I really want you to evaluate situations where you feel these negative thoughts about yourself. I want you to say you got to work late. This is just an example, and you're upset because now you feel, that all these people are mad at you because you got to work late. That event triggers, and I'm not saying this is going to happen or that you have experienced this, but I'm just trying to give you an example. That event of you being late has now triggered these negative thoughts about you, and then you have these feelings with them. So you feel worried, you feel anxious, you feel fear of being judged about being late, and you write those feelings down, and then you write in the next column, you write why, these feelings and these thoughts aren't right. So, for example, you're never late. You were late one time, you called to let them know, you were stuck in traffic. You've been working for the same location for 3 years. You've never been written up there. They're happy with you, and those are all reasons why no one's going to be mad at you if they just told you on the phone that everything was okay and take your time and be safe, So you really need to go through those steps. And I feel like that those steps will eventually help you realize that that the automatic thoughts are what are stressing you out. Okay, so do you think that you'll be able to do that when you leave the office and come back next week?
I think so. I think that would definitely help me see that it's a little bit like almost irrational, the things I'm thinking. Not like irrational, but just not really accurate to what's happening.
Yeah.
Because like you said, when I'm in like a situation like being late to work, I always think, oh, I'm letting all these people down. When meanwhile, it's not that big of a deal if I'm like 10 minutes late, because I'm never really late.
Yeah. Well, I really hope that you had a good session today. I hope that you understand the process. If you'd like me to go over with you again, I'm more than willing to. Do you feel comfortable about it?
I think so. I think it should definitely help me see some of those thoughts that I don't even realize I'm having.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'd like you to work on that this week, and then next week when we come back, I want to, go over the events, the thoughts that you went through, the feelings that you had. Remember to rate those feelings, and then talk about or remind yourself of all the reasons why that negative thought that came through your mind isn't true, Okay, so good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. And have a good rest of your week.
Thank you, you too.